Hi, I'm Sisan McNeil, a writer filmmaker. Welcome back to my vlog. So recently I was hanging out with a friend and I casually mentioned my book and she was like, "You've written a book?" And I'm like, "Girl, I've written two books." So I was like, "What?" I figured anyone who knows me to a degree knows that, but apparently not. So maybe I'm not talking about it enough. In the past, I have touched on the books in prior vlogs, but I've never actually gone into in-depth details about that until now. So, for those of you that don't know, I've published two books. My first one, We Rule the Night. I wrote this, it got published in 2013. This book took me 30 days to write. It was part of a national novel, oh my, National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo. It takes place every November. The rules are you're supposed to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days. And if you're done, you're a winner. So that year, the prize for winning was that you'll use Create Space, which is a self-publishing company, to publish the book. And I went ahead and did that. So I had 7 months to edit, and I did this while I was in third year of university. Then my second book, Echoes of Mercy. Technically, this is actually my first book because I've been writing this book since I was 13 years old. I wrote it all the way till I was 27, so it took about 14 years to write, and I finally got published. I published with Zolan Press, but trust me, I'm gonna do another vlog on publishing and scammers because a lot of publishing companies are just huge scams, so it's something to watch out for. But anyway, either way, I'm very proud of my accomplishments. So these are my two books. So yeah, what I've decided to do, because recently I've been listening to a lot of podcasts on books and publishing and all that. And what I decided to do with this vlog, I think I will give you like a summary of the book and also read in subsequent vlogs, read certain chapters or certain scenes from the books. I'll choose my favorite one so that it will give you a feel of the book. And if you're looking to purchase, look no further, just DM me and you'll get a copy. So We Rule the Night is a young adult paranormal fiction. It has Norse mythology in it. So if you're into that sort of stuff, this is the book for you. So in this segment, I'll tell you a little bit what happened prior. So the main character, Julie, her mom has been dead for 11 years under mysterious circumstance. Her dad has been a wreck since the mom died, and in turn, that affects her. So in this scene, she discovers for the first time that all this while, because there's not even a single picture of her mom in the house, all this while the father had actually kept things hidden in a barn. So she discovered it in the previous chapter, and now she's going to revisit it again. Julie's hands trembled slightly as she inserted her key in the lock, wondering what mood her father was in tonight. But she heard him snoring before she saw him passed out on the couch, an empty bottle of whiskey at the foot of the couch. She decided to use the opportunity to go through her mother's things again. She let herself out through the back door and quietly made her way to the barn. Their barn was overflowing with clutter. Julie made her way to a pile of boxes her father had hidden her mother's belongings in. She pulled out the dress again. It was an aquamarine fishtail dress with silvery patterns on it that sparkled in the moonlight. She smiled broadly, knowing she would look radiant in it. She folded the dress neatly into her backpack and continued to go through her mother's things. Her mother had been dead for almost 11 years, but it was only the second time she was going through her things because she recently just discovered her father had kept them hidden away all the while. Rumor had it that her mother had died at the edge of the Buffalo River, but she hadn't drowned. She hadn't even been wet, in fact. No marks were found on her body, no poisonous substances in her system, there were no signs of cardiac arrest or any respiratory problems. And there was absolutely no evidence that the cause of her death was a murder or suicide. The coroner had ruled it a cold case. Since then, her father had slowly declined to the man he was today, an empty shell, a mere shadow of his former self. Julie found several sketchbooks, paintbrushes, and pencils. Mother was an artist too? She flipped through one of her sketchbooks excitedly, but was horrified. The pictures grew progressively darker. She couldn't believe her mother was into paranormal. She abruptly shut the book, certain that the little she had seen would already haunt her dreams. A particular picture caught her eye, and she reached for it. It had the figure of a tall, well built man in regal attire. He was very pale and had long jet black hair. His eyes were dark and so full of hatred. Beside him was a woman with fiery blonde hair that streamed from her wing feathered hat. She also was dressed in very fashionable regal attire. She was clinging to him possessively. Her eyes blazed with fury and vengeance. Julie tore her gaze from them. They both had a very unusual symbol. She recognized it from the sketchbook she had just flipped through. She hadn't noticed it before, but she realized that it had been evident on every single page in one form or the other. Julie leaned closer to study the symbol. What the hell are you doing here? She jumped to her feet. Dad, I didn't mean. Get out! I'm sorry! Get out! She picked up her backpack and fled the barn all the way to her bedroom. She paced nervously in her room, wondering if she should call Mrs. White. She was terrified of what her father might do to her. The look on his face was almost as scary as the ones she had just seen in the picture. Suddenly, there was a bright light outside. She hurried to the window, threw back the curtains, and yelped. Her father had set the barn on fire. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for all your support. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember, if you're interested in any of the copies of the books, just DM me and I'll get that to you. Take care. Bye.